And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody tonight? Hello. Oh, we got 11 people waiting. Holy cow. Hi, everybody. How is everybody tonight? Leslie, hello. Anthony, hello from Missouri. Hello from West Virginia. I am officially home. Leslie, how's everybody tonight? I'm good. How are you? Christian, how are you? Anthony, semi-humid Sunday. It's been pretty nice here. Leslie, hi. Shipmaster, hi. Casey, hello. The cutting room floor, welcome back. Leslie, hello. Sears, hello. Jack, hey Sam, greetings from the UK. Greetings from West Virginia. Wow, 49, that jumped up really quick. Hello from Canada. Hello from Tennessee. Markin, hey. Rich, hey. Aeroflies, hello. Christian, hello. Hi, everybody. Randy, what's up from Indiana? What's up from West Virginia? Wow, man, everybody jumped in here really quick, didn't they? Laura, love your vid, Sam. You got me into ships. Thanks for the amazing content. Thanks, Laura. I'm glad you're here tonight. Let's see, Taylor. Hi, how is everybody? I'm good, Taylor. How are you? Emmanuel from the Philippines. Welcome. Man, so many people here tonight. The Little Good Doctor. Did you check out my channel yet? I haven't had a chance to, man. I'm sorry. I just got done driving 12 hours. I drove all the way from Florida back up to West Virginia because, trust me, I am not taking the train again. Oh, and hey, guys, would you guys like to see something super cool? I got a really cool surprise to show everybody. I put in an order about 2 weeks ago or so, 3 weeks ago, and I got something really cool in the mail. Would you guys like to see? Cool. Hello. Maria, hi from Arizona. Hi, Maria. I spent a good bit of time working there. I got in my merch. I ordered some merch stuff. So this is my t-shirt or sweater, from merch. I got my Historic Travels shirt. I got my Historic Travels cup with water that is staying away from my computer. I do not need a repeat of that. In case you don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I actually spilled tea all over my laptop and I had to replace it. So what I did now, just to prevent people from, or prevent this from spilling onto my computer, is I put this little desk right here. So if it does spill, it is very far away from my laptop. And guys, just so you know, I did put a link for the merch store in the description if you would like to see that. Holly, I'm supposed to sleep, but I don't care. Holly, you need to sleep. Madman, love the shirt. Thank you. Historic Travels. Sam is wearing his t-shirt. Ben, howdy. I just discovered you last week. Love your videos. Thank you so much, Ben. Elemental Gaming, welcome back. As I said before, my brother's girlfriend is friends with one of the survivors of the Holocaust. They wish each other happy birthday each year. That's insane. Eventually, I need to cover World War II and the Holocaust and everything. ELD, how do I join the Discord? I do have a link for it in some of my videos. I do need to update that link. Man, all right, sorry guys. As soon as I start talking on here, I start coughing. The cutting room floor. Do you know why Titanic Honor and Glory doesn't have the 1-200 model in their store? I do not know. I don't talk to those guys. The only one from the Titanic Honor and Glory team that I regularly talk to, but he's not really a part of the team anymore, is Tom Linsky. But I haven't talked to anybody else. Tony T, hello. Joel, knock on wood. It won't knock on, yeah, it won't spill. Oh, I showed you how I do it. I keep the cup well out of range of my laptop. So, and we got our first super chat for the night. Thank you so much from Deadly Voltage. If Titanic's watertight compartments were upgraded like Britannic, how much longer do you think Titanic would have stayed afloat? To be honest, if the Titanic would have ended up having watertight bulkheads just like the Britannic did, I think Titanic would have probably stayed afloat indefinitely because Britannic could handle 6 watertight compartments breached if the porthole windows weren't open. But if Titanic would have had the exact same thing where it was a cold night, not that many portholes were open, I think Titanic would have survived, to be honest with you. ELD, I should be asleep, but I honestly want to watch the live stream. I love your videos and I've learned so much. My mom must be super fed up with me. ELD, don't get in trouble. I don't want your mom mad at me. Let's see. Tanker, what if the White Star Line decided to build a 4th Olympic-class ocean liner? That'd be really cool. I think I need to make an adjustment real quick. Live chat. All right, guys, so I'm going to have to go ahead and enable slow mode just because I can't read your all's questions fast enough. Maria, love your videos, Sam. Thank you. Goosey Gamer. Video idea. Sorry if I've always say this, but could you do a video on the first fleet to Australia? The first fleet to Australia. I feel like I should know what that is, but I don't. Was it like the first British fleet to make it to Australia? I'm not sure. I need to look into that, but that's interesting. Leslie, are we going to do Olympic? I think people have been waiting nearly 9 months. Yes, we're going to get to Olympic. I was actually thinking about my next video. I don't know if you guys remember, but forever ago, I said that I said that I was going to do a video either on the Costa Concordia or what was the other ship, the Empress of Ireland. But what I ended up doing was it was Titanic month, so I didn't have time. So I need to get to that. But I was actually thinking about doing the Halifax explosion next. What do you guys think of that? So what do you guys want? Costa Concordia next or the Halifax explosion? Those are the two that I was thinking about. Costa Concordia, Halifax explosion. Say what you want in the chat. Ben Fleming, how many crews survived the Titanic? To be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to look it up. I would have to look it up. Costa Concordia, Costa Concordia. Really? That's surprising. Halifax explosion. Okay, there's one with the Costa. I'm going to choose Costa Concordia. Costa, please. Both. Halifax, Costa. I mean, it looks like Costa Concordia is the real winner here. As I don't really even think that very many people know about the Halifax explosion. See, the only reason that the most people know what the Costa Concordia is, because it happened in our time. George, where is Carpathia? I'll get to Carpathia. I'll get to it. Don't worry. I've got to get Olympic too. Olympic needs some love. I gotta take care of the RMS Olympic. Honestly, I don't think Olympic gets enough attention. Let's see, Yaman, what's up? I've been doing homework while listening to you. What are we doing? Well, I hope I don't distract you from your homework. Presley, can you do a video on the USS Constitution? Yes, that has been on my list for a bit. I will get to that. Gaming with Leo, Costa, then President Kennedy. Okay, we got to get to President Kennedy. We have to get to President Kennedy. The Hindenburg. Absolutely, we do need to do the Hindenburg. Although, so what do you think? Does Hindenburg technically count as a ship? I know it is a airship, but I mean, can you actually call it a ship? Because I mean, it was a dirigible, so could you classify that as a ship? I think you could. I think you could call the Hindenburg a ship. What do you guys think? Is the Hindenburg technically a ship, or is ship only good for ocean liners? Let's see. Yourself, video idea, documentary of the Great Tea Flood. Oh, nice joke. Let's see. Part Superior, yes. Kaylin, in your last Sunday night stream, you pronounced my name as Kaylin, but it's Alan with a K at the beginning. Alan with a K at the beginning. Oh, okay. Cool. I think I just called you Kaylin again, but it's Alan. Cool. Nice to meet you. Titanic videos. You're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you very much. Drew. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. What about the sinking of the Titanic intrigues you the most? Well, honestly, as of lately, I was talking to Tom Linsky about using his new animation in my future videos. And I'm going to make a dedicated video about that because for those of you who don't know, actually, let me grab something. Okay, whatever. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, it's not where I thought I left it. For those of you who don't know, Tom Linsky actually worked on the team that wrote the Titanic book on A Sea of Glass, and they redid an entire animation based on that book. So as far as what intrigues me the most, it's actually some of the updates that they have done with the actual sinking of the ship. Like, for example, in all of my videos, I talk about how the Titanic had a list of port during the final plunge. Well, it now seems, based on some testimony, that as the Titanic was going down, like just assume like my hand's the water, and she's listing the port, it seems like right before the bridge went under, the Titanic returned to an even keel. So it's like the port list stabilized for a bit. I'm curious about that. And then what's even more interesting is when the Titanic made this list and when she had the port list and then she stabilized, it now seems like as the water was getting ready to reach the first funnel, the Titanic temporarily, just for a moment, stopped sinking. Now, I don't mean for very long. I'm talking maybe for like 5 seconds. Because when the ship, it seems to me like when the ship returned to an even keel, survivors said that they actually saw the Titanic begin to lift up out of the water for a few seconds. And then after that, the ship started to flood again. Then she resumed sinking. So what I think happened, and this is, let me know what you guys think in the chat. I think when the Titanic had this list, all the water was in a certain position on the ship. And then when the Titanic somehow stabilized again, I think the disruption and the change of water inside the Titanic might have delayed the sinking or changed the hydrodynamics of the ship briefly and caused the Titanic to slightly rise up out of the water. And then the water stabilized again, and the ship continued to sink. That's my theory. I mean, what do you guys think? That's just something that I thought of. Shockwave, you are a genius. Oh, thanks, man. It's Alan or Callan. Okay, oh, is that you again? Sam, I have an idea. What if you did a ship that has I don't know what that means. Okay, let's see. ELD, what is the most ridiculous scene in the James Cameron film in Titanic? I wouldn't call it well, it is ridiculous, but it's kind of a deleted scene. It's a beautiful deleted scene, and I'd love to talk about it, but it's when they film that fight with what's Rose's butler's name, Cal. Yeah, when he's trying to kill Rose to get the diamond, and they're inside the dining room and it's flooding. I'm like, seriously? Like you're in a sinking ship, and you know, like, are you really that worried about a diamond at that point? You know what I mean? The cutting room floor. Why did Tom leave Titanic Honor and Glory? To be honest, we haven't talked about that. You'd have to ask him about it. You know, we haven't really gone into all that. Lawrence, hand on glass. Okay, let's see. Triplets. Hey, Sam, how's life? It's doing good. How are you? Spartan, have you made a Titanic model, or do you get them pre-made? I get them pre-made because I don't really like building models. I don't really mess with it. Captain Alex, was that announcer from the Hindenburg disaster over dramatic? If you're talking about the guy on the camera, I say no. I mean, how would you feel if you just saw the airship explode? I mean, of course he knows he's on camera, so you know he would put on a little show, but still, I'd be freaking out too if I saw that happen. Nathan, where does the captain has to go down with the ship come from? I see no shame in leaving a ship personally. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure where that originated, but as far as the whole saying goes, the captain is the last one off the ship. You know, if the Titanic was completely evacuated, you know, and there was no one on board, the captain can leave. There's no saying that the captain has to go down with his ship if the ship doesn't have any people on it. Basically, all it means is the captain is the last one off the ship, which is what a certain captain did not do. Captain Schettino. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Coward Schettino, not Captain Schettino. Daniel, all the humanity. Chris, besides the Titanic sinking, what is your favorite disaster to follow? You know, it kind of jumps around from time to time. And as far as what is my most, a disaster that I've been studying as of late, well, I've been studying on and off, is Pompeii. You know, I made a video all about that. Caesar, Schettino is still in jail where he should be. He is still in jail. What Schettino did was absolutely inexcusable. You know, I mean, I don't understand why a captain, somebody in the captain's position, would abandon ship, or I'm sorry, fell into a lifeboat. Seriously? With 4,000 people on board his ship. I mean, anyway. Let's see. Landry, what is the funniest part of the James Cameron movie? I don't know. Okay, I cannot believe I'm about to do this. I cannot believe. I can't get high pitch. I can't do my voice, but I'm the king of the world! Woohoo! How's that? The cutting room floor. I just ordered a trio of 1250 Olympic class, Olympic and Britannic World 1 color. That's cool. Holly, if you could go and see the wreck of the Titanic, would you go? Absolutely. I would absolutely do it. Presley, it's my birthday and I got your shirt. Awesome. Everybody liked my King of the World, huh? Amazing. Daniel, what was in the bow? Wait. What was in the bow of the ship cabin-wise? A lot of cabins were inside the bow. I think it was mostly in the front sections. I believe that was mostly steerage and like the boiler room guys. They all lived in the boiler room. The men who worked in the boiler room, their areas were confined to the front of the ship. Fallout Girl, hearts, hearts, hearts. Did you guys like my King of the World? I actually read somewhere, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but they actually had to ban people from going to the bow of modern day ships because they were all trying to do the either I'm flying or I'm king of the world. They were all trying to do that. Joel, maybe Captain Scatina was inspired by J. Bruce Ismay. Okay, all right. You know what? Joel, I don't really think it's fair to compare Captain Scatina to Bruce Ismay. You know, Bruce Ismay was not a sailor. You know, he was just the head of the company. And honestly, he does not deserve the bad rap that he gets, in my opinion. You know, I know he really did look bad, and I'm not saying that he was completely blameless. I'm not. But he was not pushing the ship for a speed record. He was not on the bridge telling them that we have to keep going after the iceberg impact. He didn't do any of that. And he was seen throughout the entire sinking trying to get people off the ship. And I don't believe he left the Titanic until close to 2 a.m. So, I mean, it was very close to the end. And there's a lot of debate as to if he got into the boat himself or if he was ordered in. And I kind of lean more towards the whole theory that he was ordered in. But at the same time, he didn't look good, you know, because he's the head of the company. He didn't get his feet wet. He got into a lifeboat. And, you know, I get it. I get why he didn't look good. And especially because he was trying to get off of the Carpathia in New York and get on another British ship and get back to England as quickly as possible. I completely get it. But at the same time, he was not a villain. And I don't put him in the same category that I put Scatino. What do you guys in the chat think of that? Because honestly, I get it, but he wasn't a villain. I hope I'm explaining myself clear. Jose, Sam, would you do a successful trip on the Hindenburg? That I don't know. Kyle 5, thank you so much. Hey Sam, will you do a video on the meals that they served on the Titanic, such as what they serve for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Interesting. I'm not an expert in that, but I would have to look into it. Let's see. Laura, Sam, my grandma was born in 1934. When do you think you could do a video about the Hindenburg? I know about it already, but a lot of people don't, so I would love it. Honestly, I guess a lot of people do want to do the Hindenburg. They want to see a video on that. I'll look into it. I'm not sure when I'll be able to get to it, but if that's what everybody wants, I'll see if I can do that. Harold, another 5. Thank you. Did anyone hear or feel the ship hit the ocean floor? No, it's 2.5 miles down, but survivors about 10, 20, 30 seconds after the stern did its final plunge. Survivors reported that they heard and felt a loud explosion, or they felt the ocean shake a little bit. And what that wasn't the stern or the ship hitting the bottom. It was the stern section of the Titanic getting crushed by all the pressure. You know, so they heard the implosion. I talk about that in my video discussing if anybody could have been alive inside the Titanic after it went underwater. If there was anybody alive in the ship after the final plunge, when they heard that explosion, that would have been it. You know, that would have been the moment that anybody still inside the ship passed away. Let's see. I cannot pronounce your name, Khalad. I heard rumors that Titanic and Olympic were swapped during construction. I made a video about that. It's not true. Blondin, 5, thank you so much. Love your videos and seeing them to find out new stuff. What do you think the final seconds must have been like for the engineers during the breakup? Terrifying. I mean, if you were inside the ship during the final moments, there would be nothing you could do. And you would just hear the sounds of the ocean, of the ship groaning, you know, and the hull beginning to break. Now, at the point of the final plunge, as the stern was beginning to climb higher out of the water, there wouldn't be any flooding in the engine room yet. You know, that was still pre-flooding. So it would have been absolutely terrifying. That's for darn sure. Bast, I can't pronounce your name. Bast. Hey Sam, $10. Thank you very much. Hey Sam, love your videos. Keep doing what you are doing. Thank you so much. Sorry I missed your chat until now. Sorry I missed that up to this point. Even, hello. BB, I heard the Titanic will be gone in 10 years due to bacteria. It will be gone, but I think it'll be longer than 10 years. I'd say more like 30 to 50. Critical, have you ever heard of the SS Cercero? The captain of the ship was basically the Francis Scatino of the 1900s. I have not, but I will look into that. Leslie, RMS Mauritania, it's on the list. The cutting room floor video on the Oceanus. I will get to it. So I need a shirt that says it's on the list. Norm, $20. Thank you so much, Norm. You didn't have to. But Norm, I didn't see a question. I wish you would have asked me a question. But thank you so much for the 20, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Dustin, do you know the crow's nest? Let's see. Jason, hi, Sam. What would you do if you were First Officer Murdoch when the warning came, iceberg, dead ahead? Honestly, I probably would have reacted the same way that Murdoch did. The first thing I would do, and there's actually some debate that Murdoch saw the iceberg before Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee did. Essentially, what I would do is if the ship was coming up and I saw the berg, first thought would be stop the engines or try to turn the ship. But I would check to see where the iceberg was relative to the Titanic. So here's my hand's the iceberg. This is Titanic. And then I would actually just try to see, okay, if I go right, will that make me miss it or will I go left? You know, that's what I would do. I would just try to figure out what's my best chance for avoiding a collision, because when it's that close, you just don't have time. Joel, I am looking at doing my own Titanic Ocean Liner channel. Would be glad to collaborate. Awesome. Let's see. Ja, what are your thoughts about Harold Bride's testimony? Is it credible? I need to go back and look at it because I can't think of it off the top of my head. Legend, Andrea Doria, question mark? Absolutely, we will get to Andrea Doria. Matt, Sam, are you a Roblox fan? I've seen a lot of videos from it, but I have not looked at it personally, or I haven't played it. James Moody, does anybody here remember me from the Discord? I do. Hi, Moody. Lucas, cool. Lawrence, probably a silly question, but did they ever find the actual iceberg? Does it still exist? Does the iceberg still exist? Well, no, it melted, but the water from it still exists. Does that help? Larry, I'm a 20-year veteran of the U.S. Navy. Thank you for your service. How about the USS Arizona? The Arizona on Fort Island is so haunted. I spent 6 years there. I want to go visit the Arizona. Any ships or anything that is accessible that I can actually go and visit, I would actually like to go and actually pay my respects to the site myself. So whenever I do the Arizona, I'd like to go and actually see the wreck. Sorry, what was your name again? Larry Berger. Larry Berger, thank you so much for your service. Everybody in the chat, let's thank Larry Berger for all his service in the military. I am actually, hang on a second. Thank you for your service. Everybody, thank Larry for his service in the military. And thank you for the question. I will get to that. Let's see. Laura, Roblox is a good game. Just watch out. There's hacking accounts. Okay, thank you for the heads up. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, Larry. Thank you. That's awesome. Thanks, everybody. Anytime I meet anybody in the military, I always say thank you for your service because honestly, they deserve it. Anybody that puts on the uniform is a hero in my book. Jack, Sam, you should totally do a video on the USS Constitution. It's on the list. Wow, everybody's doing thanks. That's awesome. Thank you. Salute to you, Larry. Taylor, to all the military veterans, thank you. Awesome, awesome. Nathan, would it have made any difference that the weight of the coal was at the back of the ship instead of the front? No. Not at that point. It wouldn't have been able to offset enough. Spartan, HMS Victory, it's on the list. So nice, Sam. Thanks, Penprop. Basilic, another 15. Thank you so much. Check out the Peter Erdale organ. It's washed ashore in 1906. I believe it's still there, but extremely deteriorated. I will look into that. I've never heard of that. I will put that on the list. That's a new one. Is that a ship or is it an actual organ, like the musical instrument? Let's put that on the list. Boom, boom, boom. And save. Paste. Boom. Got it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the 15, man. Railfan, hello. Hello, Railfan. Chris, thank you for your service. Awesome. Herp, would the lobsters on board survive the plunge to the ocean floor? No. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how much pressure lobsters can take. You know, how deep How deep do lobsters usually live? 50 feet or so? I'm not sure. Does anybody in the chat know how deep can lobsters survive? Because at 2 miles, I'm sure they just got crushed. Gaming, can you please make a video about the USS John F. Kennedy? It's on the list. Taylor, I have a question using how could somebody save the Titanic using 2110 technology if you found yourself back in time on the Titanic? How could you save the Titanic using modern technology? To be perfectly honest, I don't think you could, even with our modern day technology, because you got to think the amount of damage the Titanic sustained would sink any vessel, even today, you know? So, I mean, even if you went in with our modern day tech, with the amount of damage the ship had, the only way I could see it even being remotely possible is if you had some kind of like super pump or something that could pump the water out. That's the only way I could see it being possible. Oh, and in case you guys new here, haven't seen it yet, Historic Travels coffee cup. I got my merch store at link in the description if you guys want to see it. I got the sweater on and everything. Pretty cool. These were made by my sister. Jack, Sam, have you ever heard of the Swedish warship called the Vasa? It is a very interesting story. I have not, but that is interesting. Another ship that I have not heard about. It goes on the list. Thank you so much, Jack. Okay, I got to get something. It's not, that water's not soothing my throat. 1 second. And we have the mocha, the best drink in the world. Oh, that is so much better. So much better. Drew, hey, Sam, can you do a video about Mount St. Helens? It was a volcano that erupted in the state of Washington in May of 1980. Trust me, Mount St. Helens is on my list. And it's one of those places that I actually want to go and visit. You know, I want to go actually see Mount St. Helens and video it, talk about it and all that. Noah, what about the SS Maheno that washed ashore in Australia? I haven't heard of it. I will take a look. Elemental Gaming, Sam, can you do a video on these ships? The Empress of Ireland, let's see, Costa Concordia, Olympic. Sure, most of those are on the list. Hey guys, I do have a question for you. So I'm assuming all of you guys saw my community chat thing earlier today that I was thinking about making a gaming channel. Well, I have been fine-tuning my idea a little bit, and I don't think that would be a good, I don't play enough games for it to be a gaming channel, but I was thinking about making a dedicated channel just for miscellaneous ideas or other random videos that I was wanting to make. What do you guys think of that? Because there are some media stuff and some game stuff I would like to talk about, but you know, I like to do stuff on my telescope or vlog style videos. What do you guys think? Let's see. Shield Productions, can you do a video on the SS Mountain Temple? It's on the list. Go for it. Yes, sure. Yeah, because I was just thinking like that. Because I don't know, I'm sure you all know who she is, but one of my favorite artists on YouTube, her name's Lindsay Sterling, and she plays the violin. And anyway, she has a separate channel called Lindsay Time, where she just does miscellaneous videos or random videos. I was thinking about doing something like that. Dolltube. Hi, Sam. It's me, Dolltube. Hi, Dolltube. Tobia, play video games. I mean, I used to really be into games, but I'm not quite so much into them anymore. As far as games that I like to play these days, to be honest, I've been really into the PS3. I do play Xbox a lot, but GTA 5 and stuff like that. But I've been really into the PlayStation 3. I found this recently. This is something old school, but I found this. I'm going to play this before too long. Child of Eden. It's like a railgun shooter thing, I believe. Really cool art style. Random memes 25. Holy cow. Thank you so much, man. Hello. I have a question. Titanic. What if Titanic sank in the Mediterranean by a rock like the Costa Concordia? And when will you do the Costa Concordia video? And meantime. Let's see. So let me dive back into that. Hello, I have a question. Titanic. What if Titanic sank in the Mediterranean like a rock? Well, I can answer that. Any way that a ship sinks, it depends on where the damage is. So honestly, it doesn't matter if it's a rock, an iceberg, whatever. If the rock did the exact same amount of damage to Titanic and the Titanic had been experiencing the exact same circumstances, it doesn't matter where the Titanic is. It'd sink the same way. The biggest thing is, where did it puncture the ship? You know, if the Titanic got the same damage as Concordia, she would have dropped like a rock. You know, but if the Titanic was out at sea, you know, she would capsize, you know, if she had the same damage as Concordia. That's all it depends on, man, is, not where the ship is, but how the damage is. When will you get to the Costa Concordia video? I'm shooting for the next week or so. I guess I'm going to do that before the Halifax explosion. And video on meme time. When my sister comes back in town, I am going to do I'm going to do the meme time video. I want to wait on my sister to do that because she's in Ohio right now. Donald, $5. Do you think they could raise the Britannic? If there's any Olympic class ship that they could raise between Titanic and Britannic, I would definitely say Britannic is a better candidate. But I don't think that they could just lift it up. I think it's way too big and I think it's too deep. I think they'd have to cut it into segments and bring it up bit by bit. I think that's the only way that they could do it. That's the only way. Show Dark Souls. That's my brother's game. Dan, hi Sam, hi Dan. Let's see. Captain Alex, do you have a Facebook account? I'm struggling on my military roleplay groups. I just have my personal Facebook. I don't have a public one. Callan, or Alan. Well, the bow is already cut. Yeah. If anything, they could actually raise the bow section, but then I think they would mess up the integrity of the wreck site. I don't think they should do that. Shield Productions, is it true that the SS Burma was told to shut up by the RMS Carpathia after offers supplies to help? I don't know about that. I haven't heard of that, but it's the only shut up story that I'm aware of is what Jack Phillips told the Californian, but I'd have to look it up. Mark, hey, Sam. Great stuff. Thanks, Mark. Danny, so sorry, but could you talk about Poseidon? Sorry for begging. What do you mean begging? I guess you've been sending a lot of messages and I haven't seen it. Yeah, we can talk about the movie. That could be a video, but just anytime I talk about a movie, I'm scared to death they're going to copyright me. Because, I mean, honestly, they'll copyright me for anything now. It's so funny. I mean, when I first started this channel, I could use clips like from the James Cameron movie. I could use, I could reference stuff all I wanted, and they never came after me. But shoot, I mean, they got, no joke, when I was making my video, when I started my Titanic timeline series, when I did part 1 of that series and I talked about the Carpathia, I used a 20-second shot from A Night to Remember, okay? Just 20 seconds as a reference point. Clearly fair use, but they copyrighted it. They said, you cannot use this clip. So then I shortened it down to 10 seconds, and they let me use it. No idea why. Makes no sense to me. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Anthony, the original or newer one? I've only seen the newer one. I haven't seen the old school one. The Little Good Doctor. Sorry if this is a dumb question, but what is your favorite restaurant? That is not a dumb question. Bob Evans. Bob Evans is a restaurant on the East Coast, and I love it. Blitz, Sam, can you do a video about the SS France from the 1960s? Let's take a look at the SS France from the 1960s. I feel like I've heard that name before. Let's see, copy. Let's see, SS France from the 1960s. Let's see. Oh, that didn't work. SS France. SS France was transatlantic ocean liner constructed by Shipyard in France. But serves interesting. I'll take a look into that. Thank you so much. Whoa, Graham Hamp, 20. Thank you so much. Hey, Sam, if you were interested in a gaming video, a guided walkthrough of the H Honor and Glory Alpha would be cool stream, if copyright allowed. Also, Halifax Explosion content would be awesome once you make the trip up to Halifax. That's true. I hope we can start traveling again. Halifax is... For everybody who knows me, I've been talking about a lot how I'm wanting to visit Japan. Japan is probably going to be later, though, because of the way everything's going over there. It looks like they're going to be one of the last countries to actually open their borders. So I might change up my schedule on places to visit. So honestly, Halifax may be one of the next places that I actually come to. I am planning to visit New York City in the next month. So, because for now, we're all still limited to the United States or wherever country we are. So, Deputy Dave, you need to slow mode. Yeah, maybe I should slow this down a little bit more. That way I can actually read more questions. Give me a second, guys. All right, I'm going to increase it to 45 seconds. Let's see if that helps. Let's see. Carl, you should play the PC game Titanic Adventures at a Time. Oh, gosh. Titanic Adventures at a Time. Now, actually, I did play that back in the day when I was a little kid. And funny story, that game came out when I was super young, like super crazy young. And I really wanted to get to the sinking part just to watch it. And I didn't know what I was doing. I think I was like 7 or 8. Anyway, my mother helped me get through the game and get me to the sinking part so I could create a save file to replay the sinking because I was so into it. Anyway, my mother put in so much time on the Titanic game that she told me that that night she had a dream that we were on a speedboat in the middle of the Atlantic and we hit an iceberg and sank. I've always thought that was really funny. But hey, give my mom some credit. She played that game for what, a day, 2 days just to get me to the sinking. So she helped me out a lot. Thanks, Mom, if you're watching. Let's see. Xbox. My dad used to work in New York City. That's cool. Daylight, are you interested in doing any railroad disasters? I think we'll get to that at some point. Carl, lol. Let's see. Jack, cool. Jack. Christopher, 5. Thank you. Hi, Sam. Did you know, based on physics and atomic mathematics, water molecules from the Titanic have passed through every human alive today? Oh, you're talking. So wait, hi Sam, did you know that based on physics and atomic mathematics, water molecules from the Titanic iceberg have passed through every human? It's very possible. Like, I know what you're talking about. It's like water going through, and because water isn't destroyed, you know, water is just constantly recycled. You can't destroy water. Very possible and very interesting. When you said that, I cannot believe I'm about to reference this, but you made me think of Olaf from Frozen 2 because he makes some witty comment about that. I cannot believe I referenced that. Blondan, would you consider a video on Kurzik submarine? I'm not familiar with it, but I will take a look into it. Let's see. Let's take a look. Kurzik submarine. Let's see. Let's copy. Copy and paste. Kurzik submarine. Kurzik was an Oscar II nuclear-powered cruise submarine. It sank in the Barents Sea, killing 118. Interesting. Very interesting. I will take a look into that. Thank you so much. Me, Diego, what if the Titanic used propellers for extra maneuverability? Port in reverse, starboard full ahead. By the way, love the videos. Keep it up. Okay, good idea. That is a great idea. So basically what he just asked was, what if they would have used propellers on the Titanic to give the ship extra maneuverability so she could turn more? Great idea, but, you know, you're thinking about it way in advance. Murdoch didn't have time to think like that. You know, he had, what, 20 or 30 seconds from when he saw the iceberg to, you know, figure out what to do. And you also have to remember, ships back then, whenever you turned a lever on the engine or turned a lever on the bridge, the engines didn't do that. They had to wait. That sent a signal from the bridge to the engine room to have the engineers change up the engines. That's all that did. So it would have taken much longer than what Murdoch had to pull off that maneuver. So great idea, but it's just, yeah, there would be no time for them to carry that out. Let's see. Leslie, how many items are on your list? Let's take a look. As of right now, I don't have it completely organized, but as of right now, if I had to guess, I'd say 120, 130. I have enough content for videos for a while. So, Maria, can you do a video on the Queen Mary? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to go and visit the ship again. Holly, hi Sam. Me and my parents built a Lego Titanic using 16,000 mini Lego pieces, and the pieces are tiny. I really want to donate, but I'm not allowed. Holly, well, Holly, number one, that is super impressive. 16,000 pieces. I would love to see that. Holy cow, I would love to see that. But don't feel any pressure to donate, okay? Like, I really appreciate all the donations. It really means a lot. I love it that you guys want to support my channel and you like what I do, but don't feel any pressure for it, okay? Thank you very much, though. Danny, what if Titanic was a plane and sank? And how am I so smart? Well, how are you so smart? If it was a plane, it'd just fly into the water and sink. I hope that answered your question. Mark, how can you not know anything about the Kirk submarine considering your channel's historic travels? You know, I'm not an expert in everything. That's just what I got to say. Callan, hi, Sam. I really want to donate, but honestly, I'm broke. Again, don't feel any pressure for that. Xbox, this is probably stupid to say. You watch my videos with your pet pig, okay, or guinea pig. Let's see. Alex Productions. Hey, dude, I made an Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic out of Legos. That's awesome. Laura, hi, Sam. If you ever check out the Roblox, check out Canito Kitten. Check out his newest videos. There's a lot going on. Okay, I'll take a look. Jacob, what is your favorite ship game? As of right now, Britannic Patroness of the Mediterranean. But I really like the RMS Valiant mod on Gary's mod. That's super cool. LJ Padilla, question, is it true that the White Star Line charged the families for victims of lost uniforms? I have not heard that, but to be perfectly honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Believe it or not, the officers on board the Titanic, as soon as the Titanic went down, they stopped getting paid. I can't believe that. As soon as the Titanic slipped beneath the surface, the officers that were still alive in the lifeboats, they stopped getting paid. And that's actually the source of a major controversy. I forget the lifeboat, I forget the passengers' names, but there was a family. They were in a lifeboat. It was one of the lesser filled lifeboats. I believe there was like 12 people on board. Anyway, the officers on there were telling the passengers that they were not going to get paid when the Titanic went down. So the passengers in these lifeboats who were extremely wealthy gave them like $5, which was a pretty good chunk of money in 1912. And anyway, then the newspapers and the media went nuts with it. They're like, these rich family members bribed the Titanic's officers to not go back and save people. I mean, that's not what happened at all. That's not what happened at all. But that's just another one of those things where, you know, it's honestly either like the media just went nuts with it, and it really makes me mad because the media basically destroyed those people's lives. I mean, it really did. There was actually, believe it or not, there was a guy who, when right after the Titanic went down, there was a guy who actually said that he was on the Titanic just to get his 10 minutes of fame. He said he was on board the Titanic and that the captain was drunk, the ship was going too fast, and basically just said all this bad stuff about the crew. And guess what? He wasn't on the Titanic. It was all made up for like a newspaper or a magazine or something that he did. Anyway, his story got so much circulation that the police in America went to get him because they wanted him to testify at the American inquiry. And so they find him, they put him up in a hotel in New York. And then that night he slipped away and disappeared into the night. So, I mean, honestly, who does that? Who does that? And that honestly made me think, believe it or not, there was actually a woman who did the exact same thing with September 11th, with 9/11. She said she was in the Twin Towers. She had this horrible story of what happened to her in the buildings, how this man saved her, this firefighter saved her. Well, guess what? She wasn't even in America at the time of 9/11. I think she was over in Europe. There's a whole news thing about her. I mean, who does that? Who does that? Sorry if I got rambling, but that kind of thing just really irks me. Let's see. Daniel, not smart. RMS Olympic question. Can you make a video on the Andrea Gale? She was a fishing vessel that was lost in 1991's Perfect Storm for the 15th time asking. I'm sorry, RMS Olympic. But the Andrea Gale, wasn't that the Perfect Storm ship? I'm pretty sure that was. I'm pretty sure that was the ship from the Perfect Storm. I need to go in. Let me double check that. Andrea Gale, paste. Yeah, that was the Perfect Storm ship. Yeah, Perfect Storm of 1991. Okay, yep. I believe that one's already on the list. Let's see. TTU. Sam, your channel is awesome. I just bought the 1700 model of Carpathia. Awesome. And a 1350 model of Titanic. Your channel rekindled my interest in Titanic and ships. Thank you so much, man. June, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Sam. Good work on Titanic month episodes. Question, how did the Titanic treat waste back in the day? That is a very good question. And to be perfectly honest with you, I am not 100% certain. If I had to bet, I would say they probably just dumped it overboard. How did the Titanic deal with sewage? I'm guessing you mean it was sent overboard by gravity, what was known as storm valves in the ship's side. These are still fitted through sewage. So yeah, they basically just sent it over the side from what I'm reading here. I need to do some more checking, but that's what a quick Google search said. Johnny, yeah, there was a guy, but also lied that he was in the Twin Towers. He also talked to, wow. Seriously, who does that? I can't get over people doing something like that. Joker, question. Hi, Sam. What would have happened if the Titanic hit the iceberg on the front of the ship? Would there be any difference? If you don't know, it's fine for me. Wait, what? Okay, so I actually made a video about this. If the Titanic would have hit the berg on the front, I think with the speed the ship was going, it would have suffered a massive structural failure, and the ship would have just dropped like a rock. That's if the ship had been going slower, I think she could have survived. But at 21, 22 knots, going that fast with this much mass, slamming into a really big iceberg, it would have wrecked the ship. Holly, Sam, seriously, if there's a way to show you the picture of the Lego Titanic, I will. That's awesome, Holly. Honestly, the best way to do it is just to find me on Discord. That's the best way to do it. Shio, can you do a video on the SS Burma and the SS Frankfurt? I believe those are already on my list. JJ, silly question. Do you watch any anime? I like a few. I watch a few. I really like the movie Your Name. I really like that movie. And I love Studio Ghibli. The Wind Rises is one of my favorites. Spirited Away is super good. All of those movies are really, really good. Just depends on the movie. I did like Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan was good. One thing about me, I'll watch anything if it's got a good story. Story is key to me. Story is absolutely key. Nate, hi Sam. Are you ever going to make a video about the storm of 1913? The storm of 1913. Let's see. Storm of 1913. Let's take a look. What are you talking about? The Great Lakes storms of 1913, historically referred to as the Big Blow, was a freshwater fury of white hurricane. Interesting. Very interesting. I need to look into this some more, but thank you so much for the video or the idea. Linder822, what is your Discord server code? Please, I want to join. If anybody here is my Discord, can you please post a link again? I don't have the means to do it right now. Ella, how many years did it take for them to find Titanic? She sunk in 1912 and they found her in 1985. J-Pod, how are you doing, my friend? I am doing good, J-Pod. How are you? Anthony, in the words of an older scientist that I knew regarding sewage, the solution to the problem is dilution. Let's see. Harrison, question, when and what got you into history? The Titanic. I was 6 or 7 when the James Cameron movie came out, and I walked over to my grandparents' house, and it was on TV, and it was the actual scene. Like, I remember it vividly. It was the scene when Lightoller told Captain Smith, should we get the women and children into the boats? I asked my mom or grandpa or whatever, excuse me, what that was, and they said it was Titanic, and I said, what's Titanic? And that was it. CB Punk 20, thank you so much, CB Punk. CB Punk. Hey Sam, you should do a video on the SS Naronic, which was a White Star Line cargo ship that disappeared and has never been found, to my knowledge. Let's take a look at this Narconic. I believe I've heard of this ship. Let's see. Thank you for the 20. SS Narconic. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Naronic. The SS Naronic was a cargo steamship built by Harland and Wolff, Belfast. She was built in a company, but where did she go? The sinking, hold on a second. Fate disappeared after on 11th February 1893. The sinking Naronic killed 74 people. So were there survivors? I can't tell from this real quick if there were survivors. Were there only 74 people on board? Very interesting. I will take a look into that. Thank you so much. I'm going to add that to the list right now. Another one for the list. I need that. I got to make that t-shirt. It's on the list. 5. We got a $5 from Christopher. Thank you so much, Christopher. Sam, I wish I had your knowledge. Thank you. Do you know if King George V was offered a place on Titanic but turned it down? Found collecting sources. King George V, was he the... I'm not an expert in the royalties. Let me see here. King George V. Titanic. King George V and Titanic. Actually, let's change this up. King George V. When was King George V? When was his reign? So he was King George V, reigned from 1910 to 1936. To be perfectly honest, I do not know for sure, but I'd have to look into that some. But thank you so much for the super chat. I didn't even know that there was a possible royalty on there. Holly, how shall I send you a picture on Discord of the Lego Titanic, Sam? Honestly, just find me. Join my Discord, type in my name, or find my name, and you can DM me. Dan, can you make a video about 9/11? To be honest, 9/11 is just one of those things it's difficult to make a video about because I really want to be respectful to everybody and, just do it right. And I mean, I guess I could try to do it, but it's just... That's a challenging video to make, because it's more recent. That's what I'm trying to say. Because anytime I tell a story, I want to be as respectful as possible to everyone. And where it's more recent, it's dark. It's dark, and I want to make sure I would do it right to pay proper respect to the victims. Let's see. Alan, I don't know why, but I love drawing 20th century passenger ships. That's random, but thank you. James Moody. Sam, can you do a video on the history of British tea clipper ships? The cutie shark or sark? Will you answer my question, please? Sorry, Moody. But yeah, I will look into it. I'm not that familiar with it, but okay. Martin, what are your thoughts on the sinking of the RMS Oceanus? Are you going to do a video on it in the future? The Oceanus was a disaster. The ship shouldn't have been out at sea. The Oceanus had that pipe failure or something. It's like they had a pump or something that went out to sea, and water flooded the ship through the ship's plumbing system. Crazy, but the captain was a pig. You know, he's just like Scatino in my book. Trey, you should do a video on the SS Eastland and the Great Lakes. That one's on my list. I'm pretty sure it is. SS Eastland. Let me double check. SS, how does that mean? Sounds familiar. SS Eastland, passenger ship based in Chicago. The ship rolled over on its side. Actually, it's not on the list. Oh, I'm going to fix that right now. Boom, bada boom. Put that on the list. Another video for the list. Bada bing, bada boom. Talking this much, I can't stop coughing. John, what would have happened if the Titanic contacted the, wait, what? What would have happened if Titanic contacted the iceberg in the center of the ship? She would have dropped like a rock. Because the Titanic could only handle, had 16 watertight compartments, okay? 16 watertight compartments made up this ship, but the Titanic could only stay afloat with the first 4 compartments breached. If 4 compartments would have been breached midship or towards the back, especially 6, the ship would drop like a rock. Sorry, guys. If the Titanic had the same amount of damage that she had at the front, in the middle or back part of the ship, she would have just went down real quick. But because the damage was at the front, it actually helped the ship stay stable for a time. So Titanic was super lucky. Guys, I'm sorry. Hang on one second. All right, we're good. Sorry about that. Linder, $2. Thank you. What's your Discord username? Historic Travels with a bunch of numbers. I'd have to look it up. But thank you for the 2. Jedi, $10. Thank you so much. Christmas break 1990. I went to the movies to see Home Alone. Oh my gosh, Home Alone's amazing. It was sold out and had to watch Look Who's Talking To, 1997. Went to see Titanic, sold out, and ended up seeing Home Alone 3. True story. Really? That's interesting. What a crazy series of events. That's awesome. Thank you for the 10. CB Pump, another 10. Thank you. I heard the name Britannic was supposed to be named Gigantic, but was renamed afterwards. Bad omens. After the Titanic sinking. Do you know if this is true? Okay, so that story is kind of complicated. And as far as I know, the White Star Line said that they were never planning to name the Britannic the Gigantic, as far as I know. But there was some advertising merchandise, like some posters or something, supposedly. I haven't seen them, that said that this ship was going to be named Gigantic. I don't know if all that's true. That's just what I've heard. But the White Star Line said they never intended to name this ship Gigantic. But if you want my opinion, I think they did. People were really good at covering their tracks back then. Hey, Joel, thank you very much. Open, did you know Daniel Morin? He died on the Titanic. I have not heard of him, but thank you. Raptor, can you please make a video on Harold Bride and why is everyone spamming when I say something? Good question. I did make a video already talking about them a little bit. It was one of my early videos talking about how the radio, how they almost weren't able to call for help the night of the sinking. So if you would like to watch that. But yeah, I think I will do a dedicated video about them at some point. They have a crazy story. Alan, what if the Titanic hit an iceberg half its size? Well, you know what it is? Basically, all it is that icebergs are very unpredictable structures. You know, they're very unpredictable and they're very, it depends on how the iceberg is. Watch my video on if Titanic had struck the iceberg head on. Actually, let me send you guys this real quick because, you know, it all depends on the type of iceberg. These 2 guys, I'm going to post a link in my Discord. Well, there's an ad. I'm going to post a link in the chat just to show you guys how unpredictable icebergs can be. There you go. Because if that's an unstable berg, so if the Titanic would have hit an unstable berg, then nothing would have happened. It all depends on the type of iceberg, depending on the damage, and speed and blah blah blah. Jel, make a video about how the Costa Concordia imparts, like how she's saying how she capsized, how she hit the shore rock. It will be okay. How do you say that? Is it poggers? Is that how you say that? As I know it's slang, but how do you properly? Well, I can't ask you how to pronounce it on chat unless you anyway. But possibly. It all depends on what I can do with it and how much information there is available. Because you see, the thing about Titanic that isn't as much around for other ships, or maybe there is, I'm not as much of an expert, is where I've studied Titanic my whole life, I know to a certain degree, all the events that occurred on this ship, with mostly, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I get certain details wrong, but, it's because I've studied this ship for so long that I can do these parts and series like that. With other topics, it's kind of hard. I'd have to do more research. Let's see. Leslie, what is your favorite food? Well, I don't know if it's a food, but my favorite drink is mocha. Mocha is the best drink in the universe. But honestly, pizza. I love pizza. Ramen. Ramen is the best. I love ramen. I take ramen. I get some. I like real ramen. Like the stuff you find in a restaurant. But I take some instant noodles. I boil it. I use the broth or chicken broth, and then I hard boil an egg. I put in vegetables or peas, and then I put in chicken. Oh, it's so good. I might actually make that as I haven't had dinner yet. I might actually make that when I conclude the stream. Ramen is amazing. Xbox, I love ramen as well. Ugh, I got so hooked to it. When I visited China a few years back, and they had good ramen. Zaid, what if Olympic sank became of the Hawk collision? Oh, so what if the Olympic became the what if the Olympic had sunk like the Hawk? I probably would have changed the Titanic a bit. I'd have to think about it. I knew you were a ramen guy. That's funny. Holly, I just sent you a couple of pictures on Discord, Sam. Okay, thanks, Holly. I'll take a look later. The cutting room floor, do you think the sea of glass animation has the stern go too vertical? Honestly, I've been meaning to talk to Tom a little bit about his new animation because I did have a few questions about it. But honestly, I think that is to date, that is my favorite animation on the Titanic. Because a lot of survivors did say that the stern went completely vertical. But, when we think of the stern going vertical, we think of how dramatic it was in the James Cameron movie. And I really don't believe it did that. But yeah, I think that Tom's animation was probably pretty spot on, based on all the accounts and stuff. And I was planning to use that in my future videos. The biggest question that I am curious about is the huge decrease in time between, because if you guys remember in the other videos, it's like it took the Titanic a little bit longer. Like when the stern was rising up out of the water, it's like there was a long buildup before the ship broke. In that animation, they had the ship break not long after the second funnel fell. I thought it was like 5 minutes later. And that was very surprising to me. That was the part that I found the most interesting. And honestly, I think what they did, and the reason they got that, and I can't verify this, I haven't spoken with him about it. I bet you they did it like that because of how the stern was. Because think about it. If you have the ship climb up high out of the water like that, and you have this buildup period, jealous. Okay, your model stern is chipped. Yes, it is. This thing has been through it. Okay, so it's got some damage here. It's got some damage here. It's missing a propeller, but I use it all the time. So, but anyway, if they would have had the stern rise and have that long buildup, then the ship would have sunk not at 220, probably a little bit later. So I think that's why they figured it up like that, because under their new animation, it took the stern longer to sink, which after the breakup, and I think that's entirely possible. It's a little bit different from anything that I've ever seen before. But when I saw it, I'm like, that's very interesting. That was an entirely new way to look at the sinking that I hadn't thought of before. And honestly, they pulled all their resources from On a Sea of Glass. So, I mean, when I watched it, it was surprising. And I'm like, that's probably how it happened. Very interesting stuff. And I do plan to use that animation for all of my future videos because it's very, very well done. Just the detail they put into that. They even got the detail right of Thomas Andrews and Captain Smith leaping over the bridge wing. Like, that stunned me. And the two guys that actually boarded a lifeboat right here by the first funnel, right as I think it was collapsible D. As collapsible D was lowering away, these two guys climbed over this railing and jumped into a lifeboat. They got that. Oh, I couldn't get over it. Like, I nerded out a bit when I saw that. Ashley, I just got on a sea glass. I've just started reading. That's awesome, Ashley. Sarah, hi from earlier. How old are you? I am 29. I'm about to turn the big 30 before too long. August 28th, I will be 30 years old. The big 30. Martin, are you planning to do a video on the Bermuda Triangle as many disappearances? Yes, I am going to do that. Nintendo nerd, how old are you? 29. Hold on a second. Oh, shoot, I missed the 10. I'm glad I have somebody helping me. Kat, thank you so much for the 10. I've suggested this in Discord before, but perhaps you could do a video biography series on each individual officer and crew members of the Titanic. I love your videos and your channel. Thanks so much, Kat, and that is an interesting idea. Thank you so much. Do something on each of the officers. Very interesting. I was definitely planning to do that with Bruce Ismay because I kind of want to help that guy out a little bit because he does not deserve the bad rap he gets. But, okay, I put that in the list. Thank you so much. Let me save this too. Got to make sure I give you a shout out when I get to that. All right, I've got your comment on my list. Thank you so much, Kat. All right, everybody, we have hit the 1 hour mark, so I'm actually going to get ready to wrap up the stream probably in another 5 minutes or so. So just as a heads up, we are going to conclude the stream in about 5 minutes, so we'll take a few more questions for tonight. Landa, did you get a new laptop because of the tea? Yes, I did. I had to get to that. Nate, are you ever going to make a video about the SS Atlantic? I already did. It's on my channel. The Atlantic already has a video on my channel. Maritime historian, Sam, I left a comment about my shout out on the community tab. Next time, close the watertight doors on the laptop. Yes, definitely close the watertight doors on the laptop. Also, they are actually running trips starting at $125,000 and you get to be the crew. Oh, is that all? So they're offering, so for those of you who don't know, they're offering trips down to the Titanic to actually see it. Only $125,000 a person. That's more than my mortgage. So yeah, rest in peace, my wallet. Thanks, Landon. Harold, $5. Thank you. You don't look 30. What's your job? Well, Harold, right now, YouTube's my job. Before COVID hit, I actually worked as a technician on a copper mine. Yeah, before COVID, I actually worked as a technician on a copper mine. And then when COVID hit, I lost my job, just like everybody else. So while I was in the job hunt and just trying to figure things out, I started working on YouTube, and then YouTube took off and started generating revenue. And yeah, I mean, it's paying my bills, it's paying my mortgage. So, you know, it's right now, this is my job, and we'll see how it goes. You know, will I go back to a regular job at some point? Probably, you know, most likely, but we'll see. Hopefully YouTube can actually become a full-time gig, and that could lead into a career. If that'd be really, really nice. Holly, I sent you a couple of pictures on Discord. If you see it, that would mean the world to me. All right, Holly, I'll take a look. Gordon, hey, Sam, if you come to Charleston, do a video on the Hunley. Give me some notice. I'll be happy to be your tour guide. Thanks, Gordon. I actually wasn't too far from Charleston yesterday. Let's see. Sarah, hi, happy early birthday. Thanks, Sarah. Well, I've still got a little bit. From that. All right, everybody, 1 or 2 more questions, then we're going to conclude the stream for tonight. Rockstar, I am interested to know what life was like for a day-to-day crew and their quarters, what it was like, the stokers. Interesting, Rockstar. Very, very interesting. What life was like for the crew. That is an interesting idea. Super interesting. I really like that idea. That's going on the list. That'll probably be a very near future video. I need to do some research, but thank you so much, Rockstar. I really, really like that idea. Jack, if you were on the Titanic and you had a chance to get on a lifeboat, would you give up your seat? Would you give your seat up or not? Why or not? Wait, okay. If you were on the Titanic and you had a chance to get on a lifeboat, would you give up your seat or not? Why or why not? Okay, Jack. That is a complicated question, and let's think of it like this. Okay. If I was on the Titanic and it was early in the sinking and the lifeboats were being launched half full, or no, there was nowhere near enough people and people didn't want to get into the lifeboat, and somebody said to me, do you want to go? And I'm alone. I don't have any family or friends on board. There's more than enough room. There's no panic or anything. Yes, I would probably get in a lifeboat. But flip that around. The lifeboats are being overwhelmed with people. There's no empty seats. We know what's happening. The ship's sinking. We got to get the women and children off. Of course not. Of course not. I would not get in a lifeboat. I would stay there. I would get off the ship, or I'm sorry, I would give up my seat to anybody who needed it. You see what I'm saying? It all depends on the timing of your question. You know what I mean? If there's empty seats available and no one's getting in, then sure, get in the lifeboat. But if people need help and women and children are still on board, the ship's sinking, of course not. I would stay on the ship and do my duty. We got a 10 from Wolfman. Thank you so much. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to watch a full stream. I drive trucks for a living. That's awesome, Wolf. Yeah, man, I do live streams every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully you can come, man. And thank you so much, man, for doing all that. You know, listen, without truck drivers and everything, you know, I mean, honestly, it would have taken a lot longer to recover from COVID and everything. So, hey, Wolfman, thank you so much, man. Your job is essential, and I really appreciate it. Lisa D. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the stream. Show Rosie. Do you guys want to see Rosie before I sign off? LJ, what was your job on the mine? I was quality control. So it was my job to make sure that the miners were doing their job. So like they were actually building a what's called a leach pad for copper. It's a surface mine. And I'd take too long to explain it all. But my company designed the pad. So we were out there. I was out there making sure that they did their job. Actually, here, real quick. Give me just a second to find it. Very, very old school what I'm doing here. So yeah, this, I'm trying to find a picture of the mine so I could just show you guys real quick. Yeah, so like it was a surface mine. So yeah, that's essentially like they're building that black material you see, that's called liner. And they're burying it in what's called FOF or small grains. It's just they're going to use this to process copper. And they were building it while I was there, and I was making sure that they were actually following the specs. Like there's another picture. So yeah, that's what I was doing. Brian, Sam, do you have a geology degree? No, I do not. I do not have a geology degree. All right, let me go and random. Oh, I thought you were in a cave. No, it's a surface mine. It was a surface mine. I need to always clarify that. I always need to clarify that. Okay, let me go. Actually, better idea. Okay, let's see if she notices. Somebody had a bath this evening. Hi, Rosie. Rosie, say hi to everybody. Ow. She's still wet. Say hi, Rosie. Rosie jumped into a mud puddle when I took her to the park, and I had to give her a bath. Rosie, say hi to everybody. Everybody loves you, Rosie. Rosie. Oh. There we go. Had to show off the coffee cup. All right, Rosie, you're here. Okay. You know what? I know what you want. Let's get you a piece of the jerky. Are you ready? Sit for me. Good girl. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job. Good job, Rosie. All right, guys. One more question, and then I'm going to conclude the live stream for tonight. Joe, I wanted to stay at the Queen Mary Hotel for my senior trip, but the rooms are closed due to COVID. I know, it's sad. Oh, wait, there's our last question. Oh, wait, no, I already got that one. Okay, whew, I'm tired. Okay, Tommy, I heard people in the older times were shorter. When you saw the, I heard in the older times people were shorter. And when you saw the telegraph at the museum, did it seem short or at all accommodate? I've never heard that. Well, actually, I take that back. Maybe I have heard that, but wasn't it a lot longer ago than 100 years that people were shorter? I don't know, but I feel like I have heard that somewhere. But no, I didn't think anything of it. That's never actually been a thought on my mind, you know, that people were shorter back 100 years ago. I've never even thought of that. Let's see. All right, last question for tonight from Villa Studios. What is the highest degree you think the Titanic raised to? I'd say about 23, 24 degrees. I think that if you're talking pre-breakup, I think the Titanic stern climbed up to about 23, 24 degrees. Then the ship split. And then I think the stern went completely vertical, just like you see in the new Part-Time Explorer animation. Seriously, guys, if you guys have not watched it yet, it's very interesting and very incredible. I highly recommend you go check it out. It's on the YouTube channel Part-Time Explorer. That is it's an incredible animation. Lots of books. Did you name Rosie from the Rose character in the movie? No, I did not. All right. I'll tell you that story real quick. Rosie got her name because my first golden retriever, she passed away when I was 24, 25. We got her when I was 14, and her name was Daisy. And I kind of went with the whole flower thing, Daisy, Rosie. That's what happened. And then after I was done, after I named her that, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like Rose from Titanic. But that wasn't my intention. That was not my intention. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for joining the stream. I hope you enjoyed it and found it fun. I love doing these streams. We will be back. I'm home now. I'm back home in West Virginia. I'm home from Florida. And yeah, so the channel should return back to normal operations from this point on. So we'll have a couple of videos this week. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos that I had last week from my traveling trips. There will be more of those to come in the very near future. But anyway, guys, hey, thank you all so much for being here. Everybody who's left awesome questions, thank you so much. Everybody who did super chats, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. And yeah, everybody here, you guys are incredible. So keep doing what you do. All right, everybody. Well, hey, I'll see y'all on the next one. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here.